What's up, guys? Welcome to the show this week. Love coming at you with these Monday episodes. They really get my week going. Today, we are going to be going over some trades to make in the Dynasty offseason. Some buys, some lows, some tier ups, some tier downs, and just some general moves to make to help you guys win your league. As always, before we get going, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. I need all the help I can get. I'm really been having a lot of fun coming to you guys with these videos, and I want to keep them coming. So first topic for the day, tier up or down from Chris Olave. Now, I do like Chris Olave, but he is very, very highly rated on something like KTC right now. And so I do think there is some value to be gained by either paying up with Chris Olave or tearing down and still getting someone who I believe has a same level of output for your fantasy team. So trade one, we're going to go over today. How about Chris Olave and the 110 for Amon-Ra St. Brown, an absolute stud. Now, I like this trade for two reasons. Number one, I love getting someone who's going to get your team more points and is tied to a higher efficiency offense like the Lions compared to the Saints. Number two, I think this is pretty realistic that someone who has 110, maybe they lost in the semis, wants to go get a stud like Amon-Ra St. Brown, and maybe the thing that they needed to push themselves into the finals was a stud wide receiver. So 110 in Chris Olave to get Amon-Ra, this is no guarantee because it is very hard to go get top wide receivers like Amon-Ra, but I do think Chris Olave is very highly rated. And I think throwing a first-round pick in, especially that we are now in rookie season after the combine, and those picks are only going to go up as we hit the NFL draft and come rookie drafts. So I think this deal does have a chance to get done, and I would look into doing something like this. Second trade with Chris Olave. How about tearing down? Chris Olave and Josh Kelly, basically just a throw-in. You can see that value is incredibly low for Pittman and a 2025 mid-second next year. So I think for me, I think Pittman and Olave are a lot closer than people think. And I would even argue, I think Pittman could potentially just outscore Olave next year. I mean, we have Anthony Richardson coming back. He is very highly rated. And would we rather have Richardson or Derek Carr as our quarterback? And, yes, Pittman is slightly older than Olave, but he's been doing it. He's still young enough, and he still has, 3, 4, 5 years of his career left. And if he's going to outscore Olave for the next 2 or 3 years, you have to really consider which player is actually better. Then you throw in a second-round pick to either help you maneuver in other trades or just gain some draft capital moving forward. I think that's a trade I would love to make, both of those trades with Chris Olave, who is someone I really like, but I do think the tiers are pretty similar, and I think there's some value to be gained. So this one's going to be a little more hypothetical, but how about trade up to 1-8 or higher, super flex league for these rankings here? I think why I'm saying that is I think a lot of people are saying trade up to 1-7 is the tier with kind of the consensus rankings here. And I'm going to say 1-8 because I think come draft time, I think another player is going to slide up there. Maybe 4 quarterbacks go. Maybe a running back goes higher than we think and he gets the right landing spot. So 1-8 or higher. How about 1-12? Rashad Bateman. I also was looking at maybe like a third-round pick. Find the guy that has 1-8. Maybe he's not paying as much attention. And you can give him a piece that he's into to slide up 4 or 5 picks. I'd even consider trading a late second to make this move, to be honest. I think the value is going to be there come draft time. And I would like to be there at 1-8, either to grab one of my first 8 players or to do something that I think we've all seen, which is drafts don't always go as we think they're going to in rookie drafts. And someone slides. And if you are there to capitalize on that value of us who have been putting the time in the offseason, you want to be in position to take that guy who did slide down. And if you're at 1-8, you're going to have a better chance of getting him, whereas 1-12, he's not going to make it. So next topic for today, need a tight end. I got an idea here. How about we go get Dalton Kincaid with the 112 and the 310? Now, what I'm thinking here is this tight end class is very interesting. I think we have 2 very, very good prospects. And I think 112 and 310 is kind of in between where these prospects are going to go. Bowers is going to go before 12. And I think I like Jatavian Sanders, the tight end coming out of Texas, but I think he's probably more of a mid-second rookie pick. And I would prefer Kincaid for sure to Sanders. So I think this is kind of in the middle. 112 is assuming that you won your league or maybe you traded for this pick. But if you need a young tight end, let's say you have Travis Kelce, or you're trying to get younger at the position, I would not be afraid to use 112, package that with a third, and go get Dalton Kincaid, who I have as an elite tight end for the future. And I think this is a trade that could get done. Tight ends are really interesting. Some people have a lot of them and some people don't have them. So you kind of have to look at how you're going to acquire tight end. And I think rookie picks could be a good way to get someone if you're not liking the prospects you're here now. Now, you could try to trade up even higher and go get Bowers, but I see that as a lot harder come draft season because I think he's going to be hyped and he's going to be ranked higher than Kincaid, as he already is ranked higher than Kincaid on KTC, let alone once we know his landing spot. So this one I may get a little flack for. Some people are very big Aiyuk guys, and I'm not saying I'm not. I love Brandon Aiyuk. I think he's a very good player, a very good route runner, and a very efficient wide receiver. But we have to be realistic here. If he stays in San Francisco, he is there with Kittle, Debo, McCaffrey, and it is very hard to be a top 5, top 6 player at your position if you are really having to share the load with so many other elite assets, no matter how good of a route runner you are. So tiering down, what I mean is I like something like this, going Aiyuk in a 4th for Tank Dell and a 2nd. I think Tank Dell has the upside. He is in a more efficient passing offense, or not efficient, but I just think the output is going to be higher in Houston with Stroud there. So I think Dell has just as good of a chance to be a top 5, top 6 wide receiver as Brandon Aiyuk, and you're getting a 2nd round pick on top of this. Now, I understand why Aiyuk is ranked higher than Dell, but I mean, really start looking at these weapons. Like, San Francisco has more weapons than Houston does. And Houston is probably going to have more passing yards than San Francisco. So you start running those numbers in your head. And as much as we love Nico Collins too, I think Tank Dell is kind of underrated right now just because of the injury. And he really flashed last year. And this dude could have a top 10 season, which Aiyuk can as well. Obviously, I'm not saying he can't, but we're getting the 2nd round pick on top of that. And that's kind of the key here. I love stacking future 2nds, 3rds, 4ths to then be able to make these kind of moves come the offseason where you can attack players you want to have. And the last one for the day, this is a lot simpler trade, but I think it's just I was looking at value here. And how about going to get Tyler Lockett, trading someone like Jonathan Mingo for Tyler Lockett, who Tyler Lockett either going to be back on the Seahawks and probably be a top 36 wide receiver again and usable, or he goes to a different team and he probably has a higher ceiling than being there with DK and Jackson Smith and Jigba. But Jonathan Mingo, someone that I would just be completely out on this offseason. That's why I'm throwing him in here. I do not want him on my team. I'm trying to use his value to get things that I want. Late 2nds, early 3rds, if someone still believes in Mingo. I just think he's going to find himself a lot lower on that depth chart in Carolina. I think they add someone in the draft. They add someone in free agency. They add a tight end. Their offense is going to look different. I just don't really like what the future holds for Jonathan Mingo. So quick video to give you guys some trades to make this offseason. Let me know if there's any trades you've been making. You need some advice on trades you have in your inbox. And let me know what you think about these offers, and especially just the process to come to the offers, right? Sometimes it's not necessarily about the specific offer. It's about the process behind it. And you can apply that process to other players on your team. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you have a chance, please subscribe to the channel. I'd love to hit 500 by the NFL draft. I know that is a lofty goal, but it's possible if I get help with guys like you. And I really want to help everyone grow their dynasty teams into a championship roster. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you later this week.